This is Rakeem Allah with Wild the Dome TV. Today I have battle rap pioneer and living legend. He has two dope projects out. He's a Pan-African, a student of Nile Valley Civilization. He is the owner of Elevate Clothing Line, my brother BDot the God. Thank you for coming on, G.
Peace, God. Appreciate you. I'm glad to be here, King.
No doubt. You started to get knowledge yourself and you start to expand your way of thinking. Did you the people that you were around, did they notice a change, or like as far as like how your conversation was, and like so
Yeah,
like so how, like what was that like?
that was interesting, man. Luckily enough for me, one of my closest friends was on the same journey. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm,
one of my closest friends was on the same journey. So I was able to develop and grow with him. But a lot of our peers and a lot of our other friends around us, they just thought we was like weird. They thought we
mhm.
was tripping. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
like they what y'all on? Y'all on that Black Power stuff. Y'all on that self-righteous stuff. Because I think in the beginning, well, at least for me and a lot of people I know, and you could probably attest to this as well. In the beginning, you're angry, right? Like when you start to learn the
right,
information, you start to learn what was done to our people and the greatness we come from. You angry about it, and then the second step is you want to tell everybody about it. You know what
right,
I mean?
right. Most
But they
definitely.
not, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And
yeah.
they not there yet, so it comes off pretentious, comes off judgmental, it comes off preachy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Sometimes. So there was, I went through those stages, early on, and a lot of people, a lot of my peers, a lot of my friends, a lot of family, whatever, didn't quite understand it at first because, again, that's just the beginning stages of it. And
Right.
you have to go through those stages. It's just that's just us as human beings. Like we do that with gossip. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you heard what happened to such and such. It's the same thing with the information. We like,
Right.
yo, do you know that this
Right.
happened to us? And we come from.
And you
It's the
start banging
same.
on everything. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
everything pisses you off, you know what I
Right.
mean? All
But
the holidays and all this stuff, it's just you
Mhm.
go through that stage and then you get to a place where I'm sure you're at and where I'm at right now. It's a place of just, content and just like, I know where I'm at mentally. I know my space and I don't gotta go around trying to, jam this down everybody's throat. It is what it is. This is my lifestyle. This is what I'm comfortable with, and I'm in a good space with, as opposed to at the early stages, you out there with your bullhorn trying to get everybody on board. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah, that's real. But the thing is, it's not like, and just to think about it, it's not as if we became angry for no reason. I mean, we have
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
it's we have a big,
Actually so. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because just
Yeah.
reading some of that, like your history and the things that were done, even present day, right? I mean, it's enough to make somebody angry, but you have to, in
Yeah.
order to be able to function within larger society, at times we have to, kind of, I don't want to say like kill that energy, because we keep that right and we are ready to unleash that whenever that time is necessary. But in order for us to, function as everyday citizens, man, we kind of gotta chill sometime. And that's another thing that people don't really understand as far as the pressures of Black men and Black women is
Yeah.
having knowledge yourself. You really suppressing a lot of anger,
Hmm.
even if you have a clear picture and understanding of what's going on, it's still enough to
Hmm.
make a man angry. And a lot of times, that can that's a burden, to say the
Yeah.
least, on those who know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough life, man. I actually sometimes it'd be like it's easier to not know.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm
Ignorance is
saying?
bliss, man.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. Exactly, man. Yeah, it's tough, but hey, it is what it is, and
Yeah, we chose that
it's
though. We chose that.
right, right, exactly, exactly.
I have a question, bro. Like, and I don't know if anybody's ever asked you this, but in battle rap, I see a lot of people whenever they battle you, right? It's like the angle is always somewhat predictable, right? It's
Mhm.
going to be about something to do with consciousness, something to do with, all right, so he's gang affiliated and conscious. How does that even make sense? Or they
Right.
expect you to, they kind of view consciousness through a Christian or
Mhm.
Abrahamic type of
Yep.
mind state, right? And so if
Yeah.
they see you, maybe using profanity or saying this or that, they're like, oh, he doing this. How, you know what I'm saying? Like, how's he
Right.
conscious? Is that something that you've noticed, during your battles?
No, 100%. I feel like they put, I don't know how we want to categorize what we're on, but just for the sake of the conversation, let's call it wokeism, right?
Right,
They
right,
put they put wokeism under the umbrella of some type of religious perspective where there's law, statutes, and mandates that you have to abide by, and if you get out of the realm of any of those things, then now you've become in opposition to what you're saying. You become a walking contradiction, and
right.
so again, that's just like you said. It's a wrong perspective to have on what we represent and what we're talking about. Like I could be, I can have knowledge of self and know what's going on around me and be aware. Like that's basically what conscious means,
Yeah,
to be aware.
yeah, to
So
be
I'm
aware.
aware about, you know what I mean? Like I'm aware of what's going on around me. I'm aware of our history. It does not mean that I'm holy moly or
Mm,
Mr. Goody Two Shoes and I can't, be angry like we spoke about a little earlier. I can't express myself in a certain way, or even more so, I can't still be one of the guys outside. Like, you know what I
right,
mean? You
right,
know, we still one of the guys, we still
right,
part of the crew, we still part of the gang, quote unquote. So it's
right.
like we just got the information. That's all. And but the vocabulary and the language stays the same. The expression stays the same. We still part of the culture. We, in fact, I would argue, being woke, being conscious, being having knowledge of self, that is the culture.
Yeah,
In its inception from the beginning. It went elsewhere. You know what I
right,
mean? So
right.
yeah, man. I get that every battle. I'm used to it. To me, it shows the lack of understanding of both cultures, from the lack of understanding of someone being woke and the lack of understanding from um, gang culture, and
Right.
especially LA County, Los Angeles gang culture. This concept and this idea, it's like they think it's like the movies, like Menace to Society or something,
Right.
where we outside looking for somebody in blue or looking for somebody in red, trying to do harm to somebody. Listen, man, there's neighborhoods that have a history of violence towards one another, but in a totality, it's not this blood versus crip thing out here. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Right.
really not. You know what I mean? You got some neighborhoods that don't get along and they'll never get along based on the history and based off the bloodshed, unfortunately. But yeah, when I hear that, man, to me, it's just misunderstanding, lack of knowledge, and those people, when they say that, they don't really want to. They already have that. They want me to be the hypocrite. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right. Right.
If you're on the fence about BDot, all you got to do is a little bit of research and listen to my interviews and listen to how I disseminate this. Then you'll be like, okay, I get where you're coming from. But if you already dislike me, you want me to be the hypocrite, so it's easy to
Yeah.
paint me as one. So
Yeah. That's a good point, because I think that in the realm of knowledge of self, period, a
yeah,
lot of people look for those with knowledge of self to be a hypocrite, so they
hmm
can disprove the things that they say as
right.
not
They try to kill the messenger and not even care about the message.
right.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
On your album, Coming Forth by Day, man, bro, it's fire, man. It's what
Thank you, brother.
you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
there's a song, Ra, which I think is brilliant in the sense that it captures conversations that we have within the conscious community all the
hmm
time, right?
hmm
And a lot of people may not be privy to those type of conversations,
hmm
but like you were speaking to a Hebrew brother
hmm
from the perspective of somebody that studies Nile Valley civilization.
hmm
I don't think anybody's ever done nothing like that on record, for one. You know what I'm
Yeah, it
saying?
was. Yeah, it was really me hypothetically talking to Kendrick Lamar. You know what
Mm,
I mean? So like,
mm.
Kendrick had that record on his
Where he said,
album.
I'm a Hebrew, we ain't black. It said something like, I'm a Hebrew, we ain't
Yeah,
black. Yeah.
Yah, which was short for Yahweh. He
Yeah.
was trying to get that off, and it's dope. I ain't got, I ain't,
Of course.
and
That's
he can have his perspective. He's one of my favorite artists,
mine
Hebrew or
too.
not. But I just wanted us to have a say so in that conversation.
You're
You
right,
know what I mean?
right.
It was like, okay, you're a big time artist, and you are able to persuade. If your fan base, your large black fan base, if you tell them that we Hebrew Israelites, you're gonna push them down that road, and they might fall into that. And I'm not here to judge nobody, but at least let us have our say. You know what I
Right,
mean? Let me give you the
So
conversation in totality.
show you the options and
Right, right.
different
You feel me? So
perspectives.
that was my response to his record. He called it "Ya." I call my record "Ra."
Wow,
You know what I
fire.
mean? So we just went ahead and balanced it out, man, and had that conversation. And yeah, it's funny, man, because it's tough, man. It's tough for me as an artist because I'm rapping about things that is like you said, a lot of people aren't privy to, and so it just you know, as dope as that record is, it just goes under the radar because it's like nobody either they don't want to hear it or it just don't catch their attention. And it's unfortunate that we at that space as a culture, as a hip hop culture, where records like that is not a big deal. But I appreciate you saying it's brilliant, man.
Nah, it's
I thought it was
brilliant.
pretty good. Thank you, bro. Thank
Yeah,
you.
for sure, bro. And the thing about art though is that people not always gonna catch on right then. They're gonna catch
Yeah.
on though, G. They go because they
Yeah.
are because they're catching on with you in the battle rap arena. You know what I mean? Like you getting fans that not necessarily dwell in the spaces that we dwell in, but now that you have made your presence known, they probably I'm pretty sure you get a lot of people that tell you right that hey,
Yeah.
can you suggest a book for me or like
Yes.
here you
Hey,
go right.
every day.
So what does it, knowing that you having that kind of impact, what does that mean to you? You know what I mean? Because it is our duty to teach once we know when you're doing it through art. And so
I love
like
it, man. I love it. I'm appreciative of the role that I get to play with my artistry. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's like, however we look at this, as far as how we get these gifts and these talents and where they come from. If it's coming from my ancestors, if it's coming from the ethers, from the cosmos, wherever it's coming from, I just want to pay it forward. I just want to give it back. And I'm not here for the glorification of myself. I'm not about to rap about money and acting cool and doing all that stupid shit, man. I'm gonna try to find a way to give it back and pay it forward and have it be to edify, to have it be for growth, to have it inspire people to, So I'm appreciative of the responsibility. Anytime I get a message, the only thing I'm mad about is that I'm not 5 people because it's a lot for me by myself, man. I got my kids full time. Luckily, I don't have them right now because they would be interrupting this interview. But
mine already, you already,
yeah,
you already know,
exactly,
man.
brother. Exactly, I know it. But yeah, man. I'm appreciative when people reach out because it's no greater joy in the world than to put people on what they need to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not even and I tell people like, listen, I'm just an artist that has a little bit of information, bro. I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't portray myself to be some leader or some super scholastic expert on these historical topics and things of that nature. I just know enough to put it into art. You know what I mean? And if I can inspire, if I can lead people in the right direction, then I'm happy to do so.
Do you find it? And so the thing why I introduced you as a battle rap pioneer, and I'm gonna tell you why I said that, right? Because
brother,
there is a difference between being an intelligent MC, right? A lot of MCs are intelligent, and an MC that is rooted in knowledge itself. And in the battle rap arena, I feel like you are the first one to actually convey Pan-African thought within the battle rap arena during rounds where the object of is for me to one up you. You know what I'm saying? And so able to teach and still, and still go to war, you know what I'm saying? And walk that fine line. Is that something that come naturally or are you cognitive, whenever or like how does that work?
Yeah, it's very purposeful. It's very purposeful because I have to leave the ego at the front door. I got to kill the ego because if my ego's involved, then the information is not going to be there. Because then I'm gonna just be like, I want to win this battle. How can I win this battle?
Right.
But I leave the ego at the door and I sacrifice a win or a loss. Like I don't, to me, it's more important. Like I said, just to give my artistry, to the people and to pay it forward. So I don't really be thinking about a win or a loss, but luckily for me, not to be arrogant, but luckily for me, I'm naturally better than a lot of these dudes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to out-rap them while disseminating information, while getting a point across, while making it an overall arcing theme, that's for growth and for something bigger than just me and my opponent. I try to do that every single battle. I think there's a couple battles I may have missed the mark or my personal mark on that, but like I feel like I do that pretty much 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that's what I aim to do. That's what I aim to do every time out.
Yeah, that's dope, man. And with you being a former athlete, and you know, we in some trying times. You know, we had
Yeah.
last year, we had the George Floyd incident. We had situation where they murdered him. Breonna Taylor, you know, president was wilding out. We saw a lot of athletes, you know, come to the forefront and speak on these type of things. Do you think artists and athletes and people that have a platform are obligated to shed light on matters like this, or you know, is it enough to just throw some money at it, or not even mention it at all? You know, like what's your take on that?
I think that Black athletes, are obligated to participate in our liberation in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? So it's like, I wouldn't mind if an athlete was, you know, not vocal, but putting their money where their mouth is. You know what I'm saying? You can be an athlete that's helping to clean up his own community, putting money back into his community. And you know, you may not be out here on the front line vocally, you may not be posting and doing all that, but if you're doing something with the money that you're making to liberate Black people on some level, form, or fashion, I feel like that's great. Everybody can't be, you know, an orator. Everybody's not articulate. Everybody can't be out here, you know, being the voice of the people, because, you know, it's a talent, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So if you don't have that talent, like Muhammad Ali had that talent. You know what I'm saying? He could box his ass off, and then he could talk his ass off, and he could talk for our people and articulate our points very well. So everybody can't do that. But I will say that, yes, I believe that every Black athlete, every Black celebrity, every Black, you know, anybody Black that's making a lot of money in this country, the disparity between them and the other Black people at the bottom, they have to do something to try to close that gap. It's their obligation. I'm happy for them if they made it out the hood and they got to new heights and everything, but like, you're part of the large collective, because our oppressor, you know what I mean? Our oppressor is one big collective. You know, white supremacy is a big collective. So we have to fight that collectively as well. And I think, they're obligated to participate on some level.
With that said, and I definitely agree. Now as far as music goes, right? Yeah, we have hip hop has always either been based on partying or was reality, right? Either having a good time, which in a sense was escaping the reality, you know, that we were for a moment that we are dealing with constantly. So do you think artists nowadays, especially in hip hop, right? And I don't ever want to sound like I want to police what niggas rap about, because that ain't, you know, but do you, I've noticed that a lot of mainstream projects, though, with everything that's going on in this world, like they're not bringing up any of these topics, man. So do you think like artists got a responsibility to do that, to keep it real, at least, you know, because the fans, they're so influential, man. You know what I mean? And their voice is powerful, and it could do a lot.
You know, I guess I kind of said a similar answer to the sports thing, because it's like, at the same time, a lot of these brothers that rap, they don't have the mind state, the proper abilities to articulate these viewpoints, you know, rap wise. You know what I'm saying? So again, though, they do have an obligation to our plight and our fight overall, though. So if you one of these, you know, whatever, mumble rappers and melody rappers that's just hippity hopping over the beat and just doing your little melodies, that's cool. The money you make, though, man, try to do something for your community. Try to do something for people. You know what I mean? And then we got the J. Coles of the world. We got the Kendricks of the world. Unfortunately, late, great Nipsey Hussle. You know what I mean? We have artists that was pushing the line for us. Still to this day, Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I mean, you know, we can go down the list.
I got you.
You know, and do it. So I feel like we have enough brothers that do it. I'm not gonna knock nobody if they want to be in this game to make money, because then that's another Black family prospering. You know what I'm saying? But you still, I will always hold it to them that they still owe it to our overall plight in their specific communities that they come from to try to give back.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because there are some rappers who have content that, might maybe never mention anything as far as in the social justice realm, right? But they out there doing the work.
Yeah,
You might
exactly,
have
exactly.
some that's talking that shit and not doing a damn thing for nobody.
Yeah, you got the young brother who I think is really interesting. I think he goes by the name of NLE Chopper.
Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah, he's an interesting brother. Like he be trying to drop science, and then the next record he's shooting shit up, and then
Right.
and then I see him go, you know what I mean. Then I seen him go to neighborhoods and give out food. You know what I mean. So it's like, just a balance, man. Just try to
Yeah.
do what you can. You know what I mean. That's all. Just try to do what you can. Do
I think
something. You can't do nothing though.
Yeah, I think that's what people loved about Tupac. They knew he was a Panther Cub. They knew he was about his people, but he also had a other side that he could display, where he showed the a lot of times we have double standard. We live the double standards within man, right? Or the hypocrisy within man sometimes, like where you want this for your people, you're doing this on this end, but at the same time, you might have some self-destructive ways that you're still trying to work through. You know what I mean? It's I think to have that balance, resonates with the audience more. You know what I mean? Instead of just
Right.
preaching.
Right. 100%. Yep. I agree.
So have you checked out the Fred Hampton movie yet?
I have. Let me say I didn't finish it. I ain't gonna lie. I was watching it late night. I fell asleep. But I know the ending. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hold on, I got this.
Yeah, you good, G.
I don't like having my dang, where'd you go? That's crazy. Hold on. I don't like having my laptop hooked up to my phone because whenever I get a call, it pops up on my laptop. Like, dang, I just got all this stuff, this whole iPhone, MacBook. I just got all this recently. I don't even know how to work it all yet.
Right.
Anywho, I watched the joint. I watched it late night, so I fell asleep. So obviously I know how it ends. You know what I mean? But yeah, I had mixed feelings upon that, and then it was interesting because I saw some tweets that put things into perspective for me. I had to really sit back and be like, oh, okay, that's true. And one of the things is like, when I was watching the movie, I was like, yo, why they not really delving into Fred Hampton like deeply, know? And then I saw a tweet that was interesting. Somebody was being sarcastic and condescending, but they said, listen, the movie is called Judas
and the Black Messiah. Yeah.
So Judas is the focal point.
Right.
His shiftiness, his betrayal and all that is the focal point of the movie. Now somebody could come back and create another movie that's more so about Fred Hampton and a little bit of the quote unquote Judas. So it put things, it kind of changed my perspective on the film for me. Personally, I liked the film. I thought the cinematography was great. I thought the way that it was shot was great. I thought the acting was beautiful.
Right.
What's the brother name? The main character?
I forgot his name. I know Ryan Coogler shot it, but yeah, I forgot the brother name. I know you're talking about though. The one that played Fred Hampton.
Ryan, the dude from Black Panther shot this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, see. Yeah, they shot it. Yeah, he killed it again. That dude is brilliant, man. He killed it again.
Man. He does his research too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he got busy. I just, again, I didn't like how we always come out of a movie defeated. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I didn't like that, but then again, that's the reality of what happened to Fred Hampton. And I just wish they would have delved into Fred Hampton even more. But again, like I said, maybe that wasn't the purpose of that particular movie. So overall, I'm not gonna shit on it like that. I see a lot of people in our community shitting on it. Yeah. But I thought from what I saw, I thought it was a decent film.
Yeah. Did you feel like at any parts where, because this is the criticism that I heard and I haven't seen it yet. So okay. Do you feel like there were any parts that were trying to garner sympathy for the Judas, character, William O'Neill, like to make the audience sympathize with him?
No, not at all. Not
Okay.
at all. Not at all. If anything, what I saw, what I took from it was showing what happens to us when we're apolitical, like when we don't pick a side, like when we don't want to participate, we're susceptible to being bamboozled by the oppressor.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like the brother's character prior to him being an informant, he was, he was just on the streets trying to make ends meet, I guess. And he was like, he was robbing people for cars and things of that nature. Like the movie starts, I don't want to tell you the movie per se, but like, I can tell you this, like the movie starts off with him acting like he was a cop and he was trying to rob some brothers for their vehicle. He was trying to steal cars and stuff. And when he got arrested for doing so, and when the police was talking to him, they asked him, how'd you feel about Dr. King being murdered? He said, I didn't really feel it anyways about it. I don't know. How you feel about Malcolm X being murdered? I mean, I didn't really give too much thought to it. So them type of brothers or them type of people within our community, those are the ones that are susceptible. You know what I'm saying? To go that route. So if anything, I didn't see sympathy, but I saw like, oh, okay, they really just showing you, or at least, I don't know, maybe I'm reaching here, but I kind of felt like they showing you what happens to some of our people that don't pick a side and aren't involved and don't like that, aren't moved or touched by what happens to us when a black man gets beat up by the police, gets killed by the police, gets assassinated. Like that should bother you as a black person. So I kind of feel like his character like kind of exemplified someone who wasn't bothered by that, someone who was just trying to make $1 and didn't really care about his people.
Yeah, and I could definitely see that, because if you don't pick a side, I mean, they can make it really enticing for you to join their side. You know what I mean? Because they go after, if you already know the science, man. They go after those who either they can, entice with money, entice with power, or get them out of a jail sentence. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You have a song on Coming Forth by Day. I forgot the name of the track, but you mentioned the Neteru and the Orisha, right? And with you being a student of Nile Valley civilization, but you're also a student of West Africa, right? And so I've noticed that within the past 5 years, there's been a surge in studying West Africa, especially since DNA tests have been more commercialized and easily accessible. A lot of times most people's first foray into consciousness is through Kemet, right?
Yeah.
But how important is it to study West Africa?
Oh, more important. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had to rank it, I don't know if I really want to say this, but I'm gonna say it. I don't really care. I think it's more important than ancient Kemet. I do. Only because I feel like what often happens is that people romanticize over ancient Kemet so much,
right?
They just forget the whole rest of the continent. You know what I mean? And so, and more importantly, when you look at lineage and you look at your relationship to lineage, you have to do it in chronological order, and you have to do it in the order of events in which you're most closely related to, right? So like when you look at ancient Kemet, we talking about a culture that unfortunately died off thousands of years ago, and then other cultures, other surrounding areas developed, you know what I'm saying? And there was a migration to West Africa and to present day Ethiopia and Eritrea and these areas and whatnot. But it's like us as quote unquote African-American people, we're more related to the cultures of West Africa. Those are our direct ancestors, right? Kemet is our ancestors as well, but there's a lineage, there's like a trail. And I think it's to glorify all of it and to glorify Kemet, but to gloss over your most recent, it would be like it's literally like ignoring your mother to to talk about how great your great grandmother is.
Or in that
You know,
case, your great grandmother that you never even
yeah,
met,
yeah,
right?
yeah, great grandmother, right. So, and personally, I had to learn that lesson. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
I was arguing, debating with brothers, and they like, you telling me all this about Kemet, but you don't know shit about West Africa. You know
Right,
what I'm
right,
saying? That shit, what you know about Ifa? What you know about
right,
Yoruba? What you know
right.
about, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there like puzzled, like, wow, I could break down the pantheon of the Kemetic deities and tell you what this is and what that is, and I can't tell you nothing about Ifa. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right,
I
right.
had to learn that for myself. Like that's kind of backwards. We should be studying all of it, and most importantly, we should be knowing our West African roots because that's right. That's most recent. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I think it's important for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of things that some of your fans may not be privy to, but I know you are. I know you've seen it. We have
Yeah.
a segment of the conscious community where they are beginning to deny any connection with Africa, right?
Oh,
As if, I mean, they ignore the DNA,
hey,
genetics, the cultural, everything. Like, where do you think that come from? Because, like, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, that wasn't the case.
you know what's crazy? And let me say this before I go into it.
Mhm.
It's tough for me as an artist because when I present myself for Black Power and to be pro-Black, all of these different facets and these aspects and these schools of thought within our community, they all support me, right?
Right.
So it's hard for me to be vocal. You know what I
I got
mean?
you. I got
It's
you.
hard to be vocal and
Right.
critique because then
Mhm.
I lose a whole. So I had to learn that about my Hebrew brothers. I
Yeah.
had to lay off them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm good friends with Captain Tazariak over at ISUPK.
Right. Right.
I'm developing these relationships throughout the community to where, like, if I go hard
Yeah.
on the Hebrews, then they like, damn, BDot, but we like you, bro. We
Right.
rocking with
Right.
you. If I
Right.
go hard on the Aboriginal Moors,
Hmm.
hey, brother, but we like you. We rock with you. So it's kind of difficult. And I be trying to tread lightly when I be on Twitter, when I be on Instagram, because a lot of them brothers be trying to get at me. But yeah, man, I think that it's no way say it's no safe way to say it. I just think it's a lack of knowledge,
Yeah.
really. Like we cannot talk like I just for me, man, when they talk that we not from Africa stuff, I'm just like, yo, how do you just skip over genetics? How do
Right.
you skip over haplogroups? How do you skip over human migration? Like, how do we get to this point? How do you skip over science, bro? Like,
Right.
it's there, it's right there for you. Like, you could study the fossil records, you know what I'm saying? You could study all this stuff to show you which haplogroup certain people belong to. You talking about, genetic markers and things of that nature. And it's just like, it's there, bro. You just
Yeah.
got to really, really delve into it. And you really got to cross reference. You got to know your stuff and you got to have a passion for it. Or kind of like when it comes to me as a battle rapper, they already don't like me. So it's like, nah, BDot, you're a hypocrite. So I feel like it's the same way with that stuff. They already got something against being African. They got this bad image of Africa, through
Right.
movies and stuff and all this propaganda that when somebody tells them, oh, guess what? We originally from America, though. We not even African. We was already here. They're like,
Right.
oh, boom, here we go. Go with
Yeah.
that.
That's all I needed. Right.
Yeah. Like, so I think it's that, man. I think it's unfortunate, I mean, damn, man, to denounce a whole continent, to
Man, I
denounce
know. I know.
all of our lineage that's there and our ancestry. That's crazy to me. It's
And
crazy.
and I agree with you. As I kind of laid. Sometimes I pull my sword out, right? But for the most
Yeah.
part, I kind of chill with it because I do understand the importance of the tribes unifying and building for
Yeah.
a common cause.
Right.
But
Right.
even the Hebrew organizations from back in the day were African centered. You know?
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And majority of them are today. I
Right.
think it's only two. I think it's like ISUPK, and I want to say what's the other joint? I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm sure
Like
you know.
IUIC or something.
Yeah, one of them. I can't remember, but only two of them really denounce Africa, really. But all the other Hebrews I ran across, they rock with it. Even when I had my little back and forth with JC,
Mhm.
he's a Hebrew, and he was even
Okay.
like, nah, we rock with Africa. We claim Africa. You know what I mean? Which I
Right.
thought was it. And so yeah, man. Majority of them do. Majority of
Yeah,
them
that's
do.
good. Yeah, that's real, man. Yeah. So you said you feel like you're not liked in battle rap. Like, what do you mean by that? Is it by the people that aren't understanding where you're coming from, or is it, something different?
It's layers, man. It's layers. I think it's battle rap is an escape for most people. It's entertainment, and so they don't want to be lectured to or preached to,
Yeah.
as they say I do, which I really don't. I just be rapping and I be dropping information. You know what
Right.
I mean? I don't even be like, my brother, you should pick up this book.
Right.
Read this. I don't even be doing that, but
Right. Right.
whatever. Um, but yeah, I think it's the fact that they just want to be entertained, and so they write me off for those reasons. Then it's the Loaded Lux comparisons.
Mm,
They write me off for those reasons. Me being from the West Coast and battle rap being predominantly an East Coast sport, you know what I'm saying? They write me off for those reasons.
mm,
Me being gang affiliated while claiming consciousness, they write me off for that. It's just
right.
it's just a list of reasons on why I'm disliked. But I will say though, I think last year was one of my not even let's just keep it all the way a buck. Last year was my best year in battle rap, and
Right.
it garnered me a lot of attention and a lot of respect. And I think that I still got my haters, but man, for the most part, I receive a lot of love now. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't want to be here, lying and capping, because the truth is I get a lot more love than I do hate. You know what I mean? A lot more people got love for me than people that dislike me, and it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
It was 50. And now it's like 80-20. You know what I mean? But yeah, it definitely was 50-50, man. Sometimes even 55-45, in favor of those who dislike me. But now it's like 80-20.
And that's real because I can see that actually, even people that I know that are, conscious, for lack of a better term, because I kind of hate using that word,
Yeah,
but
me too. Me too. Me too.
um, even people that aren't really don't really keep up with battle rap, like they know who you are
Yeah.
because of content and how you deliver it. You know what I mean? And that just goes to show, like, because you had some last year, especially the year before, you had some, viral clips that was just spreading through the conscious community. You kind of became like the people's champ for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, man. I'm honored and appreciative of that, man. Definitely. I mean, 2015, I believe it was my third round versus Strick.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that went everywhere.
that went everywhere. 2016, my third round versus Danny Myers about the
Mhm.
black woman. That went everywhere. You know what I mean? I'm definitely appreciative of them rounds. Them rounds definitely set the tone for my career, especially within the conscious community. It garnered me a lot of attention and respect within the community. I was able to connect with certain brothers that I was just watching, but now they view me as one of them. They view me as a somewhat of a leader or somewhat of a spokesperson for our community. I may not be
Right.
out there lecturing and debating like them brothers, but they
Yeah.
look at me in the same vein. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing for sure.
Yeah. Dope. And you got the Elevate clothing line, which is dope, real
Thank
dope
you, bro.
actually. The
Thank you,
bomber
bro.
jacket is super fresh. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you, brother. Thank you, brother.
What made you name it Elevate, and what made you create a clothing line?
Interestingly enough, I dropped the out right when I got, because I would say that conversation I told you about that happened in the barbershop,
Right.
that happened around 2011, and
Mm,
that's when I started to wake up, so to speak. So around that time, I was working on an album, 2011, 2012, around that time, and I dropped it in 2013. And I called the title of that album at that time was called Elevation, and
mm,
so I was signed to a label, an independent label at the time, and we collectively came up with the idea to sell some merchandise off of
right.
the name. Elevation was a little too long to put on T-shirts and
Mhm.
stuff, so we just cut it short to Elevate. And we had that. That was back in 2013, and then the company kind of folded and went under, and then that was it. And then I linked up with some brothers out of Connecticut called Kinfo Clothing, and I
Yeah.
was rocking with them for a minute. We was doing business, but the long distance just didn't work out. And
Yeah.
then it just hit. I was just like, yo, I need to just bring my Elevate back. Like it ties into my brand. It makes so
Right.
much sense. So I would say last summer, yeah, like last August, I just made the decision to bring it back, really, and I just been running with it ever since, and it's definitely been working out for me, man. People love it. It's very simple, and it's very simple streetwear. It's not like it's nothing flashy to it. It ain't like no design. It's just the word itself is a lifestyle. I'm
Yeah.
I'm pushing a lifestyle. I'm pushing a lifestyle. To elevate means to just prosper and progress and go above and beyond all the negativity and all the bullshit. You know what I mean? So I think the message is very clear. I think me as an artist, as a person, I think I embody the message. And I think people definitely rocking with it, man. And I'm appreciative of it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's definitely dope, and you know,
Thank
I definitely see, all the. I mean, you have a lot going on actually, like with the Coming Forth by Day project that came out with 2000, was that 2019 or 20?
19. Yeah.
19. This is
Mm-hmm.
not a album joint
Yeah.
that came out last year. As far
Yeah.
as musically, this is a two-part question. Do you ever like struggle with yo, let me just put some shit out here that I know is gonna sell, but I'm gonna be dumbing it down type shit
Yeah.
and right.
Mhm.
And are you working on an album per se right now?
Yeah, I'm working on the album right now as we speak. Actually, I've been in the studio like every week working on a project, and it's funny you say that, man. Because in all honesty, this project, the project I'm working on, is me trying to find a common ground between the conscious community and the whatever the hip
Yeah,
hop
yeah.
regular hip hop consumer. I'm trying
Mhm.
to find that middle ground. I'm studying my peers who I respect and admire, like Kendrick Lamar, like J. Cole. I think they find a really cool way to do it. I think that I'm more passionate and vocal about like Pan Africanism and like being pro black and stuff than they are. So it's a
Right.
lot more difficult for me. But I'm learning. I'm learning how to do it. And I think with the stuff that I'm creating thus far in the studio, I believe this would probably be my best project, and I believe it'll be my most well balanced project. I think I have enough um like sonically, I think I have enough bops and stuff for like just the normal consumer. And
Right.
then I think I'm gonna sprinkle the information as opposed to all out, like Coming
Right.
Forth by Day is all out. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Ra is all out. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's the type of record that's all out in terms of the information and the conversations that we are privy and used to. But I think for this album, I wouldn't say dumbed down, but I
Mhm.
just balance out. You know what I mean? Just a smooth balance to where everybody can appreciate it. That's the
Right.
goal at least. However it come out, it's gonna come out. I'm gonna make sure it's gonna sound good. However it come out is how it come out. But definitely the goal is to have it balanced.
For sure. And so there's been a lot of battle. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but there's been a good amount of battle rappers that past 2 years have actually released, some dope projects. And I think there at one time there was a stigma as far as battle rappers making music. Like, do you have to, whenever you writing for your album, how do you get out of battle rap mode and get into songwriter mode?
Yeah, to me, honestly, you would have had to be an artist first and then become a battle rapper. It's easier to be an artist and then get into battle rap than
Mhm.
it is to be a just full-fledged battle rapper and then try to do music. Luckily for me, I'm an artist at heart. I grew up as an artist. My pops, since I was a kid, my pops was a producer. Like my house always had the living room full of keyboards and MPCs and mic
Right, right,
stands. I mean, like, I'm a hip hop baby for real. Like my pops had me on this early, so I grew up like making records. I was making albums and stuff when I was like 13. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So battle and when you coming up, you battle at school and stuff, but obviously not like how it is right now.
Yeah,
So battle rapping or still sharpening steel was always secondary to music making. So for me now, it's like it's second nature. When I hear a beat, I know how to flow to it. I know the right pocket. I know the right cadence. That's kind of just second nature for me. Luckily, because I just grew up doing that. And then when it's time to battle rap, to be honest, I have to like pay more attention and I gotta like really study more.
right,
And luckily, like I said, I'm just blessed with this talent. It comes easy, but it's still a little bit of adjustment to be made, when you rap in acapella and it's in battle rap form. You gotta kind of like your pace has to match what the listener is used to.
right.
When I go make music, I'm not thinking, okay, who do I need to like who do I need to study or what do I need to do to make sure that it's just me. I just go in there, I hear the beat, I like the beat, and I come up with the flow and then just go from there. So to answer your question, really it just if you came in the game as a battle rapper and never made no records, you're gonna have a hard time switching over to, you know what I mean, to record making. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be hard to get out of that mode.
Right. So like with you, you know, doing a lot of battles with URL past few years, is there a difference battling on that platform than battling anywhere? Like how does it feel? Like
It's just the spotlight, man. It's just the ears and the eyes that you know is on there. That's it, man. I really can't cap about it. Like, no disrespect to the other leagues, but we got to be honest here. Like, URL is the spotlight. You're some premier spotlight for battle rap. Like, it's everybody's watching. Now we got the Caffeine app that's for free.
Right.
All you gotta do is download the app and you watch the whole event for free. It's like, come on, man. Everybody's tuned in. All the industry people, like, they paying attention. It's just a different ball game, man. It's a lot of pressure. Not to mention the competition is the top notch. You know what I mean? Everybody on the URL roster gets crazy. Ain't no slouch. I mean, somebody might have a bad night. I mean, I had a bad night, you know what I mean, versus Chilla, but like that don't take away from the fact that my next battle I'm gonna go crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like every battle, every person on URL goes crazy. So any given night, you could be in for a tough night. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, man, that's not to I know people don't like that and people don't want, you know, URL to kind of have a monopoly on the game or whatnot, but I just gotta be honest, man. It's just where it's at. If you were MC and you battle rap and you want your respect and you want your notoriety and accolades, that's where you got to be, bro. That's just what it is.
And so I'm gonna ask you this, G, and you know, first off, I appreciate you coming, man.
All love, King. All love. I rock with you, bro.
For the fans that you know are interested in you know learning more about their history and you know, are wanting to, you know, get some direction and just kind of struggling with, hey, where do I go next? You know, the stuff BDot saying makes sense, but I don't know, you know, what to do after that. Like, what advice would you give?
It depends. You have to know yourself and know how you consume information. So I tell people this a lot when they ask me, like, yo, what book, whatever. Do you like to read? Do you consume information well through reading? Do you like entertainment? And if you're coming from the battle rap world, I kind of feel like if you're coming from the battle rap world as a fan and you like what I'm doing in battle rap, then it's probably best if you watch debates and lectures.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I tell people, if you're interested in learning about some of the stuff that I rap about, you should probably watch some, you know, Khalid Muhammad, you know, just go on YouTube and type that brother's name in.
Right.
Go on YouTube and type in Dr. Ben Joe. I always mess up his last name. Dr. Ben Joe. Yo Cannon. Yeah. Go on there, type him in. They got debates and stuff. Dr. John Henry Clark got debates. Like, go on there and it's entertaining because they're debating and they talking they shit in their own plastic way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would that's what I would say, especially if you're coming from the battle rap fan perspective and you want to learn while being entertained. You can watch them brothers. There's a litany of brothers. I mean, you can even go down the Sarnetta rabbit hole. You know what I mean? And you can watch the Sarah Sutin, the Brother Polites, and all them guys, and that could really set you on your journey too. You know, so for me, that's some of the things that I did, and then I personally like to read and I like to have the books because I feel like I don't trust the internet.
Me neither. I mean? I want to cut my shit off, and now I ain't got access to nothing.
I see you, Big. I see you, guys. I'm looking at your collection behind you. I'm already knowing. It's like, you know, for me personally, I like to own the books, and you know, even if you like to listen to audiobooks too, you know, buy the audiobooks, listen to them, but purchase the book too. You know what I mean? Like, I got a bunch of books that I have not read per se, but I've listened to audio, but I don't trust the audio app or the internet. I have the book still, you know what I mean? So that's what I would say, man. I think you got to find how you consume. You got to figure out. You got to know yourself and know what's going to keep your attention And it probably would be the debates and the lectures and the PowerPoints and stuff like that.
For sure, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, bro. For
Uh,
everybody that would like to find you on social media, what's your social media tags?
On Twitter, it's at BDot the God, just straight through BDot the God. And then on Facebook and on Instagram, it's well, actually, yeah, Facebook and Instagram, it's BDot the God, but it's underscores in between each word. So B underscore dot underscore the underscore God. That's really where I be at. Really,
So,
Instagram and Twitter is really where I operate at. I also have my own website you can check out. It's bdotthegod.com. I got my clothing line on there, my elevators on there. You can listen to my music on there. You can watch my battles that are on YouTube. If you're really into me as a fan, you got to get that URL app. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's $7.99 a month. You just go to the app and download the URL TV.TV app. Pay your subscription. I got like 5 battles on the app, I believe, from last year. Yeah, that's how you keep in tune with me, man. Anybody that's follows me and likes what I do or loves what I do, I really, really appreciate it. I'm not on some Hollywood shit. I'm privileged to be in this position as a conscious artist. We don't really get glorified a lot. So,
Right, right.
the fact that I had a good year last year, now I'm kind of getting my just due and getting my flowers, so to speak. I'm appreciative of it, and I'm going to keep pushing forward, bro, for sure.
Most definitely. Peace to the God.
No doubt. Can appreciate you.